Can you talk about concretely what a yours, mine, ours prenup type agreement is?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're totally right. It's silly that you got to even put that in a prenup. Like that should be the way it is. I mean, I don't know why I understand why the law is different than that. And I guess I'm thankful for it because I've made a very good living as a result of it. But it really just seems like, man, it just should be so much simpler. The idea I've always advocated for, whether someone is a millionaire or a millionaire to be, or whether they just have very little, but they want to keep their life simple in the event that they are in the majority and their relationship or marriage ends. I'm a fan of a prenup that I call the yours, mine, and ours, which is if it's in your name, it's yours. If it's in my name, it's mine. And if it's in our joint names, we split it 50-50. And that in and of itself would make divorce law a much less lucrative, endeavor for people, and divorce a lot less expensive of a thing. Because what happens when you get married, and no one tells you this when you're getting married, and no one even tells you this while you are married. Usually the first time people hear it is when they're sitting across the desk from me, and they're being told it for the first time when it's already too late to do anything about it, is that you opt out of the title system. So if you buy your spouse a watch, you bought yourself one half of that watch. If you buy, her a tennis bracelet, you bought yourself one half of a tennis bracelet. If you incur $10,000 in credit card debt, she's on the hook for $5,000. And that is not something people really know. So I'm a fan of, again, agency, autonomy, and conversation. And I think it's really important for people to talk about their finances. If you can't have hard conversations, you really shouldn't be in a long-term relationship with someone, a cohabitation with someone. I think it's important to be able to talk about, okay, I got this check. Do we put it in my account? Do we put it in our joint account? If we split up, what do we owe each other? What do you need? What would you need? What would I need? What could I afford to give you? What could you afford to take? What are you giving up in this relationship financially? And what are you gaining in this relationship financially? And I think that allowing the government to make that decision doesn't make sense to me. Again, I've been to the DMV. If you've been to the DMV, you know that these people should not be in charge of things. Like this is not a place where you walk in and go, this is where efficiency and logic absolutely rule the day. You walk in and go, okay, this is bureaucracy, insanity, boredom, chaos, and disorganization of the worst kind. So why would we let that govern our primary relationships when we could just as easily say, let's have a rule book, and then let's have conversations along the way of as money comes in, as money goes out, as our financial situations change, as we both grow as professionals or one grows and the other stagnates. What do we owe each other? How will we take care of each other and ourselves? What are we responsible for? I think those are big, important conversations. And I can't think of, I like games that have simple rules. If I have to read a 50-page rule book, I don't want to play the game. It doesn't seem as much fun. So I think simple rules are better but again, the reason people avoid it is, oh my God, then we have to talk about it. Then we're going to have to talk about when money comes in, what are we going to do with it? Okay.
Constantly, yeah.
Good. Talk about it. If you can't talk to this person, don't marry them. That's a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea to marry someone you can't talk to. It's terrible, stupid.
Yeah.
There's no sex that good. There's no sex so good that you should marry a person you can't talk to. It's not possible.
So concretely on this one, does that sound like you get a prenup that says, look, if it's in your name, it's yours, mine, and then there's consistent conversations, which is, okay, we're going to get this car. I'm going to take it out in my name. I'm going to pay from my account. And in the event of a split, that's my car. And there's not even a... Okay, and so that's what it looks like.
Just that simple. Or it could be some other arrangement. The loan's going to be in both of our names because both of us are going to use it, but I put the down payment down, so I'm going to have it titled in my name. So I'm going to be the one who keeps it, but you're getting to use it. You talk about what it's going to be. Or
so you're opting back into the title system, essentially, with a prenup.
Exactly
you're saying,
right.
Okay.
You're opting back into the title system. And what you're doing also, I think, is having conversations about what trade-offs we're making. Because then if you do it right, you're going to have the next conversation, which is, okay, so the car's in your name and you're going to make the payments, but I can use the car, and that's nice. But if we break up, I don't have a car. So what would we do then? And you go, well, that makes sense because, you know, you're not going to want to walk everywhere, but I'm not going to, you know, we've agreed you're not going to take the car. So what if when we break up, I would give you $1,500 so that you'd have the down payment and the first lease payment on a vehicle. Does that make sense? Or, okay, you know what we would do is if we break up and the car has, the loan is paid off on the car by that time, then I'll pay you a sum equivalent to the 1/2 of all the payments we made during the marriage towards the car. You could just have conversations about what would we owe each other. Again, if I said to you, and please, I apologize because I know you're a dog lover and I'm a dog lover and I see your adorable dog sitting in the couch in the background. If I said to you, and this is not going to happen, don't worry. If I said to you, today's the last day you're going to have that dog, what would you do with your day? I guarantee it would involve that dog. I guarantee you would love that dog differently. You'd spend time with that dog differently. You'd snuggle it differently. Okay, so it's not, thank God, thinking about that is not going to make your dog die. It's not going to make your dog run away. Thinking about it is just going to make you, yes, a little anxious probably, but also it's going to make you mindful of how much you love that dog, how much value that dog brings to your life, how much poorer you would be in the absence of that dog, and how much joy you give it and it gives you, and you're going to want to embrace it. Why is talking about the end of a relationship, even in the context of a car? Like, I see that as an opportunity. Like, we're getting a car. This is an opportunity to talk about how much we love each other. And what would we do without each other? And what do we need from each other? And what do we do for each other gladly because we love each other?
Even on a practical level, it's like, oh, this relationship grants me access to a car that isn't mine. It's just this. It's just that recognition.
And by the way, isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely? Like if you go, you mean I get to be with this beautiful woman and I get a car? That's incredible. That's incredible. You know, again, and if she said, listen, the main reason I'm here is the car, I kind of want to know that. If she says, listen, you don't let me drive that car, I'm out of here. That car's not mine, I'm gone. Okay, so I'm worth 1/2 of the value of a car is what you're basically saying. Like, that's what I've always said. You know, look, I know I owe you. If you're in a relationship with me, I owe you things and you owe me things. I get that. Like, that's the nature of relationship. It's an economy. It's a symbiosis. But I owe you a house? What do we owe? How many months is it before I owe you a house? Like, no one told me the equation here. Like, whose math are we using? Because this is what happens when you talk about prenups with people, is they go, well, if we're married for more than 18 months, that, you know, he should have to give me X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, really? What is it about 18 months? Yeah. Like, so you're saying 17 months and 29 days, he don't owe you anything, but you had that one more day. Like, this is the problem with the law. You're telling me at 20 years and 363 days, you were not mature enough to drink alcohol. But 2 days later, you were mature enough to handle alcohol? That's stupid. You're telling me the highway, 55 miles an hour is perfectly safe, 56 is dangerous and punishable by fine or imprisonment? That's stupid. But it's not what we have to do. We have to pick a rule and make the rule. Same thing with money. What do we owe each other? What do you want from me? What do I want from you? What do we give each other? I think that's a conversation you should have often and openly.